What's up, y'all? Rob Anderson, Clean Power Wash, Salisbury, Maryland. Got a phone call yesterday or the other day, depending on when you're watching this, talking about Home Advisor and how much he's paying per lead, and the number of contractors that it's going out to, and closing rates, etc. So I want to kind of talk about that and really any marketing method in general. First and foremost, you want to get to the point where people are calling you and only you. You've got an established client base. You've got lots and lots of referrals coming in, referral programs and whatnot, so that when Joe Homeowner reaches out to your company, they're just asking you for a price and making sure that your price isn't insane. So we do so much with our social media marketing, because I really and truly feel like that is a method that we can dominate and get to the point where the people that are contacting us on there are just looking for a price that they think is not astronomical, because they're already convinced of our quality and our reputation. So Home Advisor. Now, unlike with most other lead sources where you pay something, you do an investment into lawn signs, into clip flyers, into your website, into your vehicle wrap, whatever it may be. All of those ones, you don't really see the cost per lead as clearly defined on a each lead basis. You build your website. We had ours redone last year. Spent $2,000 or $3,000, and we'll make enough leads to get that cost per website, or not per website, but lead from our website, to be at a substantially low number, whether it's $5, $10, 15, whatever it works out to, or $2, I don't know. Point being, we spend a bunch of money. If it's a good website, it will get us lots and lots of leads. If your lawn signs suck, if your EDDM campaign sucked, your cost per lead is going to be calculated afterwards. So you may drop, let's say, $2,000 on an EDDM campaign, or direct mail campaign, or whatever, and you're not guaranteed a certain number of leads. Now, there's statistical stuff. If your postcards and stuff are good, you should be getting whatever percentage response rate. Oh my goodness, the line for this coffee place, because they're finally open. People have gone on coffee withdrawal. Crazy. With Home Advisor and with other lead sites where you pay per lead, you're paying for that cost right then and there. You're not paying $1,000 to Home Advisor and hoping you get 500 leads. Now, you're paying a set amount for that lead, and that amount's going to vary depending on the service, depending on your market where you're at, and depending on if it's a market match, basically anybody who power washes, or an exact match where they've looked at your profile and said, I want that guy. And yes, it's absolutely sent to a couple of different companies. Now, when somebody calls you from Google, they may have gone onto Google Maps, searched power washing, and called the first 1, 2, 3, 4, 12 contractors. You don't know that. A lot of people say, yeah, we called a couple companies. Half of them didn't answer. Some guy was super low, one guy was super high. Here's your price, yada yada. The goal is to influence your closing rate by having a better profile on those sites, to be able to be that company that responds right away. We got a Home Advisor request literally as I pulled into a client's driveway, and I called that customer. It was at 3:04. At 10:04 a.m. And by 10:05, I was already off the phone call, had scheduled the estimate and everything. That guy's blown away by what we've done. So the fact that it's going out to 2 other contractors, we're already ahead. We made the first call. We got first contact. So that increases our chances. But this guy was making a good point that, if he's paying $40 per lead, which I completely agree, that's a lot of money to be paying for a residential lead. If it's a business lead, that's not too much. But you also have to know it's a business, it's called your client acquisition cost and what your max amount is. If you can afford, based off your pricing, to spend $200 to get a lead because your average ticket is $3,000 and your close rate is whatever, then spend that money and keep making it. In this situation, though, just because 3 companies get that lead doesn't mean that all 3 companies are calling back immediately. It doesn't mean that all 3 companies are even calling back. Some of them, quite frankly, aren't even responding. We hear that all the time, for people not responding. Now, your market's going to be different. The pricing for a gutter cleaning lead in Salisbury, Maryland versus a gutter cleaning lead in Chicago or Louisiana is going to be different. It's definitely gone up. And sometimes I'll look at it and say, man, I don't know if that amount of money is really worth it for that lead. We are still very, very much in the black. It's well over 10x right now on the money that we spend on Home Advisor. Do we get all the jobs? Absolutely not. Are some of the leads garbage? Absolutely. Are some of the leads that we get from all of our other sources garbage? Absolutely. The goal is to get enough leads. You get 1,000 leads and 900 of them are pretty good, and you close 500, 600 of them, you're doing pretty well. The other big thing too, we used to be up in DC area, Montgomery County, back when stuff was called Service Magic, and I want to say he was probably getting 4 or 5 estimates a day from it back then. You can set a certain amount of money that you're willing to spend on it, and if you just dedicate, say, $300 a month, $400 a month, whatever it may be, for leads, do that. Also, look at the kind of categories that you get. You don't want to necessarily get leads in every single area. And by area, I'm talking about as far as services, not necessarily location. Sorry, this light's bothering me. The sun's bothering me. But some, in your area, the cost for gutter cleaning leads may be perfect and spot on, and you're happy with that. The cost for a house wash lead might not be that great. Roof wash leads, quite frankly, are a little underpriced since it's a higher average ticket. And usually if we're getting called for a roof soft wash, we can usually sell them on other services. Same thing with the gutter cleaning. And you can look in your area, see how many companies are offering those different services. And also, when you're newer, and again, depending on your area, like our area, we service about a 45-minute driving range. Right now, we just actually turned off a couple zones because it's literally not worth it for us to get leads that are in those outer areas right now because of just the overall demand and estimate volume that we're getting. We want to focus and be efficient with our estimates, be efficient with our scheduling of the jobs and things. If somebody still calls us and wants us to go out there and the money's right, we booked one for 1,800 out there for next Monday. But again, do things to increase your close rate, increase your chances of winning jobs. And that's the same for everything. That doesn't have to do with just Home Advisor or Angie's List or whatever else. And again, you should be pricing enough that whatever lead source that you're using, if you continue to use it, that you're making a good, solid minimum, in my personal opinion, is a 5x ROI. Because that's basically breaking even, quite frankly, once you figure out costs, paying for the lead, getting there, doing the work, all your other business costs, insurance, etc. that's kind of the point there. So anyways, I hope that helps, guys. And to the guy that called me specifically about this is just hopefully educational for everybody on there. And ultimately too, we use Home Advisor. It works for us. We like it. You still have to make that decision as grown adults on whether or not you want to use any marketing method that I talk about, or any other business person talks about. It's up to you how you want to spend your money. And see you.